Interrupt. Space Station Copernica to all units in vicinity of Terra Sector. Krynos Nebula Galileus System. All. Space Mayday Vi Intergal.com.net. Starliner X-Ray 370 lost in solar. 1 shuttle detached. Ability survivor system. Reward 3,000 mega credits.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
The greater good.
This is episode 200.
I can't hear anything other than music. It's really loud.
Sorry, you can't hear me at all?
Oh, there you are. There. I mean, you were there. You were there. It was just really, really loud
in your ears? Oh, I'm sorry. I'll have to do nothing about that. This is episode 222, and tonight we're talking about Spacehunter and the adventures in the Forbidden Zone. I said all of those words, and that is accurate.
And that is a long title. That's a lot of black letters to put on the marquee.
It really is. They probably ran out of a lot of them.
Yeah.
I mean, how many?
They weren't digital back then. This
No.
was, somebody had to hand put those up there.
Yeah,
You
somebody
had to throw a few red in there.
Yeah, somebody had to go find a Z somewhere, and
They turned over some numbers
Yeah.
to kind of look like letters, and
Yep.
yeah.
Upside down W's.
Yeah, things like that. So, yeah, 1983, Spacehunter: Adventures in the Forbidden Zone. This is that thing, and I am Sean Allred, and joining me tonight is Andrew, kicking it always works, Jimison.
What's up, you scrawny earth bag?
Molly Ringwald. If only you
We'll
weren't
get to that.
awful in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. And Sam, I'm really glad I bought you the T-shirt Vector.
Oh, yeah. There's so many different ways to die in this movie. It's hard to pick an exact one to put you into.
Okay.
But I think the most fun would definitely be the little the death trap at the very end where you had to jump over some very rubbery metallic objects. And
in the maze.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So.
I'm whatever.
And there wasn't like a good seat in the house to watch that.
No, I know there was a lot of obstacles and obstructions and
It's really strange.
yeah, I mean, really, the only person that had a good spot was the Overdog, and that's because his little articulating arm person could kind of move him around.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he's like the least scary bad guy I've ever seen. Just walk behind him. You know what I'm
Run
saying?
the other way.
But he had gigantic robot hands and arms.
And that shot missiles.
Yeah.
but-
So.
Yeah,
And he had a very resonating, amplified voice.
Yeah,
So
he did have that. And metal teeth.
yeah.
But
And he was in Starship Troopers.
he was, yeah. That's Michael Ironsides, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't he have a metal arm in that as well?
He did. He lost his arm due
There you go.
to the first fight with something. And so he came back with a metal arm. Yeah.
So maybe this is like years into the future.
Or something, yeah, or past, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Ironsides is great. He's often not a bad guy, but just a hard ass. Like we need somebody to be a hard ass.
Yeah, you don't see him in many romantic interest movies.
No, you don't. Unless he's the hard ass father that you have to.
Although
woo.
he did have romantic interests in this movie.
Yeah, which is weird and
It was
creepy.
freaking creepy.
The only movie things I can remember Michael Ironsides from, other than the Bug movie, was he took over for Roy Schneider in Sequest DSV. Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
There's a short-lived
Nice.
sci-fi episode or movie or TV show. I can't talk.
Wasn't that supposed to be Star Trek in the ocean?
Basically, it was Star Trek in the ocean. I mean, they got Jonathan Brandis, so they had your kid, your genius kid, right, to mimic Will Wheaton. You had a talking dolphin, so that we have to have an animal kind of a thing.
Because you can't have aliens.
Right? Yeah. So we have to have a talking dolphin. We're gonna go pet a dolphin. No, we're gonna go eat a dolphin. No, we're gonna go pet a dolphin. Yeah, we're gonna go pet a dolphin.
Great, Steve.
Yeah. And he took over for Roy Schneider for some reason. I don't know why. I can't remember.
Why do I keep getting Roy Schneider and Rob Schneider mixed up?
Yeah, one's funny and one's not.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So I keep thinking, you can do it underwater.
He's not the captain of the world's most powerful submarine. I liked that movie. That TV show. I don't want to keep calling it a movie. I liked that show. I remember thinking it was really cool, and I
remember it being different, and that's what I liked. I liked something you didn't. It wasn't just a lawyer doctor TV show.
Yeah, no,
lawyer doctor cop TV show. I guess.
Yeah. Sequest 2032 was the original. Oh, the original title was DSV, Deep Submerged Vehicle, and Jonathan Brandis.
He was great in Apocalypse Now.
Ted Raimi was in it. Sam Raimi's brother.
Really?
Yeah, it only lasted 3 seasons though. But anyway, that was
longer
fun.
than Firefly.
It did make it longer than Firefly. Thank you. Frank Welker did the special voice effects. That's kind of cool. Frank Welker, as in Optimus Prime.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
was he the voice of the dolphin?
No. Who was the voice of the dolphin? I know we're way off.
I was going to say we're going to the deep end.
Yeah, literally in the deep end. I'm trying to see who was the voice of the dolphin. I can't remember the dolphin's name.
They call him Flipper.
No.
Flipper.
Darwin.
Darwin
it literally says Darwin.
Yeah.
Like as himself. The dolphin was himself. Darwin is an actor known for Sequest 2032. See full bio. Does the dolphin have a bio page?
Awesome.
Darwin, while sharing credits with the regular cast members, is actually a mechanical dolphin created by Edge Innovations. His human vocalizations were performed by Frank Welker. Yeah, it was Frank Welker.
Nice.
That's great. Optimus Prime did a dolphin. That's fantastic. Anyway.
Now you have baby mechanical dolphins everywhere.
Yeah. That's weird. All right. So anyway, back to Spacehunter. I got a feeling we're going to tangent a lot on this.
Oh, good God, yes.
Because this show was so bad, or this movie was really bad. And
Talking about.
And we all knew it was going in. It was going to be bad. The only reason why we did this movie is because I was surprised it was streaming, first of all. And it's a movie from my youth that, for whatever reason, I thought was really good.
Well, and I think that's different because a 10-year-old is going to view this differently than us as mature, older. I mean, all the different weird things, all the guns and equipment and robots. I mean, the old 10-year-old Sam would have eaten this up.
Yeah. And I think that's what it was, is like, 12-year-old me was like, hey, that spaceship's kind of cool. Like, I didn't care that the rock floating outside his window when we go inside looked really bad.
Yeah.
I thought the spaceship...
And I might have pretended to drive his little souped-up Jeep thing.
Yeah, the Scrambler. I remember the Scrambler being really cool. And I remember that the big bulldozer thing was really dumb, like the snowplow. I remember thinking, why are you having a snowplow on a planet that's a desert? I mean, that never made sense to me. It still doesn't. All it does is break. I mean, really fragile.
I guess when it's the only vehicle.
Yeah, I guess. And I remember thinking that the 3 girls that they kidnapped were really hot.
Yep. And the hair. Oh, God, total 80s.
Yeah, that 80s hair. And Molly Ringwald, I thought was fine. I didn't quite realize how annoying she is.
Well, I feel weird with her in this movie.
Okay.
Because she is supposed to be possibly like obviously she's the kid that needs saving.
Yeah.
Right? She's not a kid in this movie.
Well, she's 15 though, like in actual life. She filmed
Yeah,
this at 15, and there's a couple moments where she's a little sexualized. And the dude I was watching this, my roommate, I want to throw him under the bus, but he was like, "Ooh, that's kind of." I'm like, "Dude, she's 15." He's like, "Okay, never mind."
But maybe that's why it's that uncomfortable. Just
Yeah.
He's dunking her with a white shirt under the water to give her a bath, and I'm like,
Yeah, nowadays there's words associated with that kind of a thing.
Yeah, although you could always be a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah, he could.
Okay.
The weird part was like, why did he have soap in his belt? Like he was ready for that. Like he woke up, right? Because he wakes up and she's like snuggled up next to him because she was cold, right? Because she apparently smells so bad that's what woke him up was her smell. And he rolls out of bed, and she's like, "What? I was cold." And he throws her in that water, which probably is about 1 degree above freezing, right? Because if she was cold, it's probably really cold. And he pulls out of his belt pack, his bat belt, his friggin' bottle of shampoo. And I thought, why would you keep that there? It just seemed really dumb.
Wait, you don't?
No, stop it.
Oh,
It made me laugh. Everything in this movie made me laugh. And it sucks. But like when on the what am I trying to say? On the surface, when I say, "Hey, I got a sci-fi movie with Peter Strauss, who you kind of heard of. Everyone's kind of heard of him a little bit. He's done a bunch of TV. And Molly Ringwald and Ernie Hudson and Michael Ironsides. It's got the film score is done by Elmer Bernstein. Or Bernstein, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's actually done like legitimate stuff.
Well, and I thought the practical effects were actually pretty good for '83.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd make fun of this movie, if it was made even, any later than '87, '88. But I liked the way it looked.
Well, I was comparing the budget to the first Star Wars, and the budget for the first Star Wars was not as much as they budgeted for this film. If that gives you any indication of special effects.
Yeah, I mean, but again, budget isn't everything. I mean, the people.
I also think Star Wars used their budget a lot.
Well, they used their budget.
I guess you could say.
They did. They also had the best minds in the industry working on it. Like they spent their budget better.
Yeah.
I mean, to get Industrial Light and Magic, which at the time was just this small kind of fledgling company, but these were like MIT people,
Right.
kind of doing stuff. So, and it was just, obviously there's a lot of stuff in Star Wars that just kind of works better. I mean, we all know that those are plastic starships. Like we know that, but for whatever reason, they do something in sound design, edit, I don't know what, that makes them seem bigger and massive.
And real and not plastic.
Yeah.
And in this movie, it looked plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can tell it's plastic with stuff painted over it, like the cruise ship at the beginning with the thing that was looping through, and the really bad painted background that for some reason disappeared when the ship blew up. Like, did that ship blow up the binary stars it was looking at? I thought that was.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was in that quadrant. It was a sight to behold.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then you jump into your pod, and does it like cryo? Like it like sealed them into this weird stuff. Like that always kind of seems strange too. That it had time to do that while you're flying in space. I don't know. Maybe. Whatever. But I mean, some of the practical effects were okay. I mean, yes, when he put on his little rocket attachment at the end of the movie, which I thought, man, that would have been handy way earlier in the movie. But, you could see the string that was about to pull the rocket, that the rocket was going to guide on. You could see the string. But this was a time of film where you could literally hide things in sight on film because film did not have the high res quality. There's several moments in Star Trek, and Star Trek 6. I mean, this is the 6th movie of a successful franchise that you could still see strings on, on the Blu-ray conversion because it was never meant for Blu-ray. They didn't know that it was going to be a thing, so you could hide string on film, and they had VHS release, and they knew about that in '96. So they were like, well, the fidelity of a TV and a VCR is not that great, so we can have strings in the middle of the shot, and it won't matter. And then I watched it on my Blu-ray. I'm like, oh wow, there's the strings. And there's the
we saw that in what was it, last week or the week before? What was the weird one?
Buckaroo Banzai?
No, not by. Well, I'm sure there wasn't there, but the floating drones.
Runaway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. So anyway, the practical effects were fine. So this, you okay, Andrew?
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. So this movie,
Forgot my microphone was sitting on this table that I'm messing around with.
this movie fully admits that it's trying to gain its ability. What's the word I'm looking? It's trying to make money off of Star Wars.
Yeah,
And they don't.
To me, it was like Indiana Jones meets Star Wars.
Okay,
Yep.
I see what you're saying
Yep.
there.
Totally agree.
And what I mean by that is, and you're talking about like the style and the feel. I'm talking about practically in the fact that they released this movie a week before the Return of the Jedi.
Oh yeah,
Literally hoping people would not know the difference.
Really?
They would just see a space movie and go watch it. Because of the hype of the Return of the Jedi was so big in 1983, they're like, well, we'll release it. They were literally hoping that 1 week's release would bankroll the film, and it did. It made $15 million in a week, basically.
Suckers.
Yeah, a little bit. And so, anyway, opening weekend, it made $7 million. It had an operational budget of 14. It grossed $16 million. So it
Then
made
the next week, people went to see Return of the Jedi, and they were like, "Oh, what was that crap we watched last week?"
yeah, that might not think it was terrible, but they did that on purpose, and that's just crazy to me. So, and I'm going to go ahead and skip because we're here, and I'm going to go ahead and skip part of basically the only bit of trivia that I actually wrote down. So I know I'm going to go way ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and play this.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
But we're here talking about Star Wars. Ernie Hudson was cast as Washington due to his resemblance to Lando Calrissian.
Wait.
Seriously.
Are they not saying that
They're saying that black guys look alike. That's exactly
look alike? Yeah.
Because Ernie Hudson looks nothing like Billy D. Williams.
No.
I mean, not just forget the fact that Ernie Hudson got a shaved head and Billy D. Williams has a killer mustache and
that's sexy ways.
Right, like Ernie Hudson was in Ghostbusters or would be in Ghostbusters. I don't know. And Ernie Hudson's like a big, strong-looking dude. Like he looks like he could beat the hell out of you. Whereas, Billy D. Williams just looks like a dude that wants to offer you a cocktail.
Yeah,
I'd take it.
Yeah, sure. I don't drink and I'd take it because he's a sexy man. That's literally the only piece of trivia I wrote down because the rest of it was basically talking about how much it was trying to knock off of Star Wars, trying to bank off Star Wars.
There were so many of those back in the 70s and 80s, though.
Yeah. Well, we did one
we've
for the
done
50th
several of
episode.
them now.
Yeah. Star Crash.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I mean, Star Wars was not the first of its genre, right? I mean, Buck Rogers had been around a long time. I mean, there are other sci-fi movies that have been out. Just Star Wars, it worked.
yeah.
Yep.
And it just kind of became, of that type of genre, the most successful. Obviously, Star Trek had been around for nearly a decade when...
And no one really liked it, so...
Yeah, stop it.
Star Wars came around and really put space on the map.
Well, they put space movies on the map, definitely, because, Star Trek was just episodic TV. So I actually will concede that. You're not wrong. And it took to the second movie for Star Trek to make a good movie. So anyway, I also laughed at did it? I haven't looked, and I should, but I didn't. But I'm going to. the guy that's leaving, like he's getting like a voicemail or like a recorded message of like, oh, your landlord's gonna kick you out and you owe your 105 parking tickets. Like we're space and we still have parking tickets anyway. Didn't that sound like Egon from Ghostbusters?
Oh, it was.
Was it Harold Ramis?
Yeah, I read that in the trivia.
Oh, I missed that somehow. Oh, look, Harold Ramis in the cast, voice of Intercom, uncredited. So we've got half of Ghostbusters in this movie.
Yeah.
That's just funny.
Well, I don't know that this was trying to be serious or not.
Oh, that's because Ivan Reitman was a producer. That's why. Okay. Sorry.
I mean, there were several comedians attached to it. Harold Ramis and Ernie Hudson. They're known for their comedy.
Yeah.
But to me, this movie is one that couldn't figure out what it wanted to be, because at times I felt like it wanted to be a serious space movie, like Star Wars, and then at times I felt like it was trying to make fun of itself or trying to be a little bit of a space comedy. But
Well, and
the main actor to me was just so bad that nothing really was that funny.
I totally agree, and I think that's what Star Wars got right, where the characters were relatable, and certainly Mark Hamill was annoying in the first one, but then you've got Harrison Ford, who totally wins it back as as whoever this guy's trying to be. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who is Pete? Sorry. I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm looking at the cast, and the guy that played the chemist was in Billy Madison, the Adam Sandler thing.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. No, I think you're both very right about like not knowing what the hell it wanted to be. Like the movie sets up as if it's going to be a series. Like they were going to make a bunch of these. Yeah. He's got Marley Ringwald, and the nature of that relationship is a little weird. But I guess they're going to go trekking around the universe, solving things or whatever. I don't know, but they thought they were going to have a franchise out of this, and clearly not. And fortunately, there was nothing in the trivia about wanting to do a sequel. That would have been devastating. But, I mean, the movie is a video game, right? Like, here's your mission. So then you have your first level is the train. And then they have to go to the second level, and that's where he meets his sidekick. And then go to the third level. Like literally every scene of the movie is, here's a challenge, then we must either overcome it or leave it. Just escape. Right?
Can we talk about the train for a moment?
Okay.
I was really bothered.
With the sails?
Because what the hell are sails going to do for a train?
I don't know.
If anything, they're going to slow it down.
I don't know.
And I saw that, and I literally rolled my eyes out loud.
I thought it was just a means of locomotion, and no pun intended. No, seriously.
Well,
I don't know what you're saying. Are you saying that the sails were
pushing the train?
You think? Well, you really think so? I mean, there must be some gnarly wind to push that much steel.
Train. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking.
Not to mention, if you had to tack against the wind, it wouldn't work very well.
Yeah, I think they just thought it would look cool to have. Let's mash something up, because you never saw an engine. There was no locomotive.
When was Mad Max? Because a lot of this reminded me a little Mad Max as well.
I don't know. I think about the same time.
But I want to say it was in the 80s.
1979 was the first one.
Oh, so they might have gotten some inspiration off of that as well.
Yeah, and then the next one was 81.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then the next one was 85.
Yeah.
And then Mad Max The Wasteland has already been announced, starring Tom Hardy.
Nice.
George Miller. And it's only been cast as Tom Hardy's your only cast member.
because they're on. Apparently, they did not get along
Really?
on set. Yes.
Well, you put a big thing on my face
Yeah.
and strap me to the front of a car, I'd be pissed too. Make me a blood donor for the guy who played Beast.
Dude, that was such a good movie.
It was a good movie. I saw
love
it.
Fury Road. For entertainment only, that is just awesome.
I liked it, and I heard, and I've heard people use the phrase that the new Mission Impossible movie is the best action flick since Fury Road.
Really?
In the sense of the practical effects and things like that. So
I haven't seen it yet. So.
I haven't either, and I really wanted to. I just didn't get a chance to,
Yeah.
or haven't had a chance to, I should say. Anyway, yeah, the movie can't make up its mind what it wants to be. It sucks. I mean, that's not.
It's hard not.
But it's. I don't know. It's almost so bad that it's hard to have a good time with it sometimes. I mean, sometimes I was just laughing, and because I was watching it with one of my roommate from the trip, like we were laughing, having a good time, and just the ridiculousness of stuff, and like, does the Overdog like still have a wiener in there? Like, is he getting off on watching his minions undress the girls? Like,
yeah, what was up with that? Why?
Like, does he undress them with his claw hands? I never understood the point of it.
Yeah.
Because the chemist is doing this funny little monologue, which I captured, where he's like, make sure they have no scars. The girls are much more, they're better. The Overlord doesn't like it when they have scars. And I'm like, what does he matter? What does it matter? Like, he can't do anything with them. It's
kind of like Edward Scissorhands, really.
A little bit. If
right?
if Edward Scissorhands also had scissor waist and legs.
Yeah.
I mean, part of me wonders, like, the people that, okay, anytime you have a big bad, there's always like followers.
Minions. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I were a minion for this guy, I would just go unplug him and then be like, okay, I'm in charge now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. And usually, like, when you have your big bad, then you have at least one sub boss that's actually difficult to beat. And the chemist, all he did was like squeeze a bag of milk on him, and he died or something. Like, he seemed easy to kill. I mean, everything in this movie was easy to kill. Even the vehicle of death that's pushing you through the maze took one rocket and it was dead. From his little rocket gun thing, which was still kind of cool. But
again, something an 8-year-old, a 10-year-old would be like, ooh.
Yeah. I mean, those bullets look like Nerf, like total Nerf. They really did. But or maybe shaved carrots or something. I don't know.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned, I forget what movie it was. You mentioned this about, it was the Tom Selleck thing.
Runaway.
Yeah.
Send in the floater.
So with the movie poster, he was holding the bad guy's gun.
Mm-hmm.
In this poster, Molly Ringwald is holding a gun. Did she ever shoot a gun in this movie?
No.
When would she have shot a gun?
I don't know.
She's
holding a gun, like they're standing back to back and they're both holding guns.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Oh, like she's an equal.
Yeah.
That sounds like straight out of the contract type of deal there.
She's not even wearing in this movie the outfit she's wearing in that.
No.
I think that's another Photoshop job, Sam.
Oh, really?
Look at it. It doesn't look like...
Hold on.
Like, nothing she's wearing in that shot is anything that she wears in this movie at all. She's wearing a big necklace with a hoop.
Does she have a giraffe neck?
No, it's not a giraffe neck, but it doesn't look like it was originally her. Like, they cast someone else to do the photo, and then they cast her or something. Like, he's got one of his his carrot bullets in there. Michael Ironside as
Oh gosh,
Overdog.
yeah. Of course, this is pre Photoshop, but that would be real easy to Photoshop because it's a clean cut around her neck.
Yeah,
that's probably not even her hand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't look like it. I'm looking at some of the other production skills. I don't know. There's something about that that's just weirding me out. Because again, I don't like. There's no gun in the movie that looks like that. There's no prop in the movie that is that gun that she's holding.
It looks like
It's like a double-barreled pistol.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like one of those tasers that the cops use today.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
that's where they got.
I'm scrolling through pictures like production stills from the movie, and there's a lot of scenes with Molly Ringwald and her. Oh, that's a weird one. Look on page 21 of 27 on IMDb. The image is flipped for it in Spanish.
Huh.
They literally flipped the image for the DVD release in Spanish or something.
Weird.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Anyway. Yeah. The point is that no, you're right. You're not wrong, Andrew. That goes along with my beef about movie posters lying to us. Did this movie have an F-bomb? I can't remember.
I don't remember it.
I know there was an S. There was a shit that was thrown out, but I don't remember if Chicago. You're out. Colin Mokry, guard, uncredited. Why would you uncredit a guard? That seems kind of mean.
He didn't say anything.
Like, it's not. But then he wouldn't be credited anyway. Like, it wouldn't matter. Like, why put him on IMDb if he doesn't have a line?
So another thing, real quick.
Yeah.
I read in some of the trivia, this was marketed to be the first film to put you in outer space. Mm-hmm. And this was supposed to be a 3D release.
Yeah.
Now, 3D, back then, we didn't have these nice, clear things. Now you had the red and blue lenses in your glasses. I never have seen a movie in 3D with those red and blue glasses. So I don't know how that affects the movie itself. Having said that, I don't see much in this movie that would be worth watching in 3D.
No.
There was a couple of moments where things were pointing at you that made me that reminded, because I read that while I was watching the movie. I read the trivia because I didn't care. I normally don't, but I didn't care. and I remember them saying like this was one of 4 movies released kind of at the same time around with the same studio they were really trying to push this 3D idea in the 80s. And this was the first one that they did it. And there's a couple of moments where people are pointing things and sticking things like he moves his claw hands out towards the camera for no reason at one point. And I'm sitting there thinking, I bet you that was for 3D. And there's a couple other moments where, like when he's got the gun on Ernie Hudson and he keeps like poking it at Ernie Hudson, his little rifle gun thingy. I'm like, I bet you that's for the 3D. So, anyway, I still kind of would like to have seen that in 3D. Not gonna lie, it would have been kind of fun.
I guess maybe in the scene with the maze with that car, they kept the car or the machine or whatever that was, like kept coming toward the camera.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, maybe some of that kind of stuff too. You're right. I forgot about that. Kind of a thing, but yeah. Anyway.
All the random things swinging in the maze.
Yeah, I mean, and let's be honest, that maze looked real dumb.
Legends of the Hidden Temple did it better.
Yeah, and it was probably more dangerous than that. I just like even the guy that fell off and into the rubbery looking metal blades. Like I still kind of feel like it wouldn't be enough to. Like I almost feel like because he fell so gingerly onto it, like I just almost feel like it would just like cut you, like you wouldn't die. And then when when Molly Ringwald's there and the camera like zooms in on the blades, like wow, they cleaned them blades clean. Like they must have bleached them and everything. Because there was no.
They don't want you to get tetanus or
transmitted
diseases.
We don't want things to.
It was the 80s.
It was the 80s. You're not wrong. So. I mean, what else is there to even say about this movie?
It's hard. I don't know. Okay, so the train people is kind of how it starts, right?
Well, no, the movie starts with I mean, on the planet, yeah, it does.
On the planet, it goes from trained people to girl, Ernie Hudson. And then does it go to the people in the water?
Well, we meet Ernie Hudson, and then then they leave and they go to the underwater place, and then they escape. No. Before the water people were the fat people, the fat suit people. That weirded me out. Like they make this weird groaning noise. It kind of reminded me of the Babadook or something, and
something that they would normally make though.
Like it was
being a fat person myself. That's relatable.
Like, I don't know why, but for some reason that scene always grossed me out as a kid, and I must have pushed it out of my mind because it was so kind of whatever.
I thought that was great in terms of the practical effects.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job with the fat people because normally I wouldn't care, but it's pretty cool.
Did you guys either of you see the movie Nothing But Trouble? Chevy Chase and Demi Moore back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And those fat suit guys reminded me of Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd with the penis nose?
That and the where he played the big kids, the big twin babies that lived in the junkyard.
He played the twin babies too?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, he played one of them.
Oh, I don't remember that. He was the judge.
Yeah. But he also played one of the babies.
Yeah, 91, Nothing But Trouble. I think it's actually streaming. This actually might if it's streaming, it might actually be considered horror comedy.
Yeah, you're right.
It's directed by Dan Aykroyd. A businessman and his friends are captured by a sadistic judge and his equally odd family in the backwoods of a bizarre mansion. That's a what? Family in the backwoods of a bizarre man. Oh, I just realized, Andrew, you haven't done the read yet for this movie.
Oh, yeah.
John Wesley? What? Oh, not that John Wesley. Do you want to do it, Andrew, real quick?
I mean, now that we're done. Yeah.
I mean, now that we're 46 minutes into the show?
Well, in case people don't know what it is, go back and listen to the last 35 minutes of what we've been talking. No, I'm kidding.
Okay. John Candy's in it, too.
Yeah, sure. 3 women make an emergency landing on a planet plagued with a fatal disease. How do we know that? I don't know. But they're captured by the dictator Overdog, which kind of sounds like a cartoon character from Nickelodeon in the 90s. Adventurer Wolff goes there to rescue them and meets Niki, the only Earthling left from a medical expedition. Combining their talents, they try to save the women.
She has talents?
I
don't know that they really combine their talents, other than her whining.
Well, she leads them to the place, right? She brainworked how to get there.
She's kind of Sacagawea-ish, yeah.
Yeah, but didn't she lead them to like all these places where they almost died?
Yeah, and that weird like water dragon thing that didn't really seem all that scary, but
no. But all the crazy witch ladies ran away from it.
Yeah.
You know what I found funny about that scene? Is they were standing, and it was like knee deep.
Yeah.
And then when they
dove in,
it was extremely deep.
Yeah. There was a couple of moments where the water kind of kept changing depths. Because he dove in, I'm like, I hope you know that's deep, man, because you would have just given yourself a concussion.
It's like feet first time. Come on.
We also haven't mentioned his C-3PO.
Yeah, his lady robot person.
His lady robot that apparently did more than just,
Yeah, apparently she was his sex bot also.
Yeah.
Hey man, whatever gets you off in deep space.
They were like, because they make a line in the movie that alludes to it. He's like,
he says something about, I'm glad I bought you that 90 or something like that.
Well, he did say that, but there was other times where it was like, do you need my services? He's like, no, not this time. I actually need you to fix something or something like that. Like they're making they're
veiled
making
reference.
We bang a lot is basically what they're saying. And anyway, it was just weird, but like everything in his world had like a self-destruct. Like she had he was on a remote and her face melted. And I thought, boy, that seems kind of dangerous to just kind of keep lying around, you know? Like, what if you bumped it and you didn't mean to? You know, like you guys are doing it and all of a sudden you hit the remote and she starts melting. I mean, that would be terrifying. And by the way, engulfing your spaceship in sand, probably not the best way to hide it. Just saying. Like, there's no sand in parts of that ship that probably will never get out. I mean, we've all
been going to the beach with kids.
I was like, we've all been to the beach. We have beach bags that still have sand in it from 1994.
The crotch of that ship is really chafing by now.
Exactly. So anyway, I thought that was dumb, but whatever. I also did the space smokers, because Waterworld space smokers, they snapped their necks, and it made the crunchy noise of them snapping their necks, but it just made them go to sleep for some reason. I thought that was weird.
I thought that they had killed them.
I did too.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, geez, this rescue mission is going to be short lived. But then they made that. Oh my gosh, I laughed out loud when they made that noise when the gliders, the jet propelled gliders, picked them up. I should have captured it. It's so bad. Shwink, or whatever it made. I mean, it was a cartoon.
Yeah, it was.
It was a cartoon. And there was a lot of that in this movie. Like, for example, I have to play this. Example, this happened. They totally freaking stole an R2-D2 sound.
Yep.
I mean, that wasn't even... That was blatant. So, I guess maybe there's no patent on R2-D2 sounds, but that was blatant. I did write this planet sucks. I forgot how whiny she is. I said, so there's explosions. Go get a cute girl, Maze. That's what I wrote. Because I mean, literally, there's to the slave pens are under attack. Rah rah rah. Ooh, a redhead. All right, whatever. That's fine. I guess the guards will take care of it. Let's do the maze. What? Overdog, you kind of suck as an overdog. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, should some general should have come up and like, sir, we've lost all our slaves. Like we know, and now they're arming themselves. I don't like that word. What, mainframe? No, the other word. Slaves? Sorry. Prisoners with jobs. Okay, thank you. Sorry, there's your Thor Ragnarok quote of the day. I watched that again recently. That movie makes me laugh. I even watched them in order. I watched Thor, and then Black Panther, and then Avengers.
Nice.
And I still freaking cried at I Don't Feel Well, Mr. Stark. That's all I'm going to say. I know it's out on video, but it still made me cry. Like a hungry, angry baby.
Like a little bitch.
Yep. Kind of. Not going to lie.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot to capture his when he's getting electrocuted at the end. He makes a noise like Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Because when in the movie, when Christopher Lloyd when he's getting like eaten up, his voice gets all weird and high pitched. Like
that's right, yeah.
They did that in this movie. So, and that like stuff like that just makes me think that they were just going for full on camp.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's it though. I don't think that they wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just I don't understand movies like this. That it's almost like it had two directors, and one of them wanted camp, and one of them wanted a serious film.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're not wrong.
Or arguments in the writing room or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Just because when you look at the pieces, the building blocks to this movie, it's comedy. Ivan Reitman, you got Harold Ramis, but I just think that they lost track sometimes. Because I mean, even Ghostbusters, which is a comedy, right? They have some serious moments, but you never for 1 minute think that movie is a serious film. It's always a comedy, even when they're talking about the end of the world. And there's a couple of moments there, they still add some brevity while talking about a giant Twinkie and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Anyway, You ready for some dumb tropes? I wrote, Warlord creates game of death to amuse himself. The wait in the car trope, where they don't. Video game trope, which I mentioned earlier, where like you have to go up each layer to kill the boss. Again, there was no sub boss in this movie though. There needed to have been a sub boss. And then you kick it to fix it. Is the other trope I wrote down. There's more, but that's.
But then you don't really kick it that hard.
I mean, she just goes up to the door and kicked the door. When have you ever gone to your garage door and kicked the door to make it work? No, you like unplug the chain system. You don't kick the door. The door has nothing to do with it. It was dumb. Maybe there was dirt in it from the last time he had to hide it. All right, so here we go. Ready for some clippy clips?
Let's do it.
I already played R2. Again. Here is what's her Molly Ringwald being kind of whiny.
What do you think I am, you scrawny earthbag? I'm a woman, an earther. You better not skizz my home or I'll get my father to split your face. And I got brothers too.
That's your father in there. I got news for you. He's been dead for about 10 years.
Oh. Well, this is my place anyway, so bone out.
Whatever you say, princess.
That's all
Straight
bad.
Off of Star Wars.
That's all bad. Yeah, anything you want, princess. Yeah. Actually, I haven't thought about that. So let's talk about the dialogue for just a half a second. It felt like, now I know they can't copy a show that would happen 20 years later, but like Firefly uses normal words and they kind of change them up a little bit to make it seem a little different because we're in a different time and thing like that. You know, instead of saying, let's go to space, they say let's take us off world, and they have other little phrases that they say in the Firefly universe that are just a little different, right? And I think they tried to do that in this movie, but I think they went too far. You know what I'm saying? Like none of those words that she said made sense. I'm gonna skizz out, or you better phone out, or like it went too far in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe not, but when they kept saying stuff like we brain worked.
Yeah.
And there was other phrases that they said that kind of bothered me.
Well, I don't know, the way the delivery is in Serenity and Firefly versus the delivery. I for some reason Firefly seems more natural.
Yeah.
But I'm also a huge fan of that. So it's.
But I don't think if you got Nathan Fillion to say the lines that Peter Strauss is saying, it's making them better. I don't think it does. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think if this was Serenity in 2005 with 2005 technology, this movie still sucks. You know what I'm saying? I think this dialogue sucks. Anyway, speaking of
with different people, I don't think we would have had the same dialogue.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, you also have way different writers, I know, but and Nathan Fillion maybe changes some stuff a little bit, but I don't know. Here's that creepy chemist. Here's 25 seconds of him, and I thought it was funny because he's on a PA system. Who is he talking to? He's just talking, like no one's actually answering his questions. He's just asking questions that no one can answer or is willing to answer. It just thought it was weird, but anyway.
I do hope they're young and soft, but not fat. Young girls are so much nicer to touch, especially if they have no scars. Overdog is put off by scars. Are they missing any limbs? I hate it when they have missing limbs.
And how was he not, I don't know. They could have done something with him as the underdog.
Underdog.
I like the name Chemist, but I think they could have done something with him.
Yeah, I think Underdog was already taken. But he didn't do anything as the chemist is the problem.
Yeah.
We saw the creepy children at the end throwing Molotov cocktails when she said, "Oh, that's the result of the chemist." But I never felt he was a threat. He was just creepy. I mean, no one in this movie is a legitimate threat. They're all just weird, creepy voyeur people that like to watch stuff. I did like Ernie Hudson here.
You know, most people like to stick with something. But you like fly shit on the window. First little breeze that blows and you're gone.
That's good. You're becoming a real philosopher.
I don't know why I feel obligated. Anyone says the word shit on the movies, I feel like I have to. If it's funny, then I have to capture it. This is the only part of the movie, truly the only dialogue from the movie I remember before the viewing.
Water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink.
What's that?
It's a poem. The first poem you learn in high school.
What's high school?
It's where you should be. It's where you learn things.
I don't have to go no place to brain work that stuff's poison.
That's what I just said.
And that's clearly in a studio. I quoted that whole scene. I don't know why I remembered that very specific dialogue, but I totally remembered every bit of it. Most of the movie I had forgotten. Just like I remember his ship and the truck being kind of cool, and Overdog was mostly like a Darth Vader kind of a thing. But here's some really here's 8. Wait, I only captured 8 seconds. Wow. Okay, 8 seconds of bad dialogue.
We brainworked to attack the slave pens and free the captives. Then with the guards up taken, we could move for Overdog. But it was wrong done.
It was wrong done.
It was wrong done?
It was wrong done.
Wrong done. They done wrong done.
They done wrong done. They done wrong done it. They done it wrong done.
I think those kids went to McDowell High School.
Since I don't have any more trivia, I'm just gonna
Excuse me while I whip this out.
kick it over to top 3. Well, Sam was so delighted by the fat suit that people were doing movies with fat suits. Help us if we actually ever do the Nutty Professor or any movies that we're about to mention. But we're gonna do movies with fat suits. So here we go, Andrew.
All right. Well, I have an honorable mention because I don't know if this is a fat suit or just CGI, but Dwayne Johnson in Central Intelligence.
Oh, dang it. How did I miss that one?
I've not seen it, but I think that's CGI.
Oh, it's such a funny movie.
It is so good. It really is.
Number 3, I'm going to go with Pure Luck. It's an older movie with Martin Short and Danny Glover.
Oh, we get stung by the bees.
Stung by a bee, and it's hilarious. Number 2, Austin Powers with Fat Bastard.
Sure.
And number 1, probably the movie that I laughed at the most, and a movie that it's not a great movie, but I literally cried laughing with my family every time we watched it, was The Nutty Professor.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy.
Hercules. All right. Okay. Sam.
I'm with Andrew a lot of these. My number 3 is Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder. Him, I didn't like as a character, but it was a movie with a fat suit in it, and I liked the movie.
He was wearing a fat suit? Oh, yeah. I guess he had like a belly hanging out of his shirt, didn't he, a little bit?
Yeah.
I've only seen literally the opening parts of that movie and his scene where he's bald and being all weird and creepy. Okay.
Yeah. My number 2 is Austin Powers.
Okay.
Shag Me. And then my number 1, I'm right there with Andrew. I laughed my butt off every time, The Nutty Professor. Unfortunately, they take that joke way too far in the sequels, but it's good stuff.
All right. My honorable mention is not a movie, but I don't care. But it was Weird Al as in this music video "Fat" that he did a parody off of "Bad" from Michael Jackson. He literally said while in makeup for that shoot, he said he lost more weight doing that video than he had in like any other time because he would literally sit and look at himself, go, I guess I'm not going to eat this brownie. So my number 3 is also Austin Powers with Fat Bastard. My number 2 is Tim Allen in The Santa Claus.
Okay, yeah.
Because we watch that every year for Christmas. And number 1 Robin Williams as Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, did he get? That's right. He did get into fatsuit for that,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Hello!
Oh no!
I love that movie. It makes me happy. And Pierce Brosnan's in it, and he almost dies from shrimp.
Does he get into fatsuit for that?
No, not Pierce Brosnan. Just
No,
Robin.
I mean,
Robin Williams.
does he?
He puts on the lady.
No, when Pierce Brosnan eats the shrimp, doesn't he get all?
Yeah, he's still as Mrs. Doubtfire, and he runs over, and then during him doing the Heimlich is when his
that's right. It
face
wasn't he was
comes
allergic
off.
to the shrimp. It was.
Well, no, he was
choking
allergic to hot stuff, anything hot, and he puts like a bunch of cayenne pepper on it or something. Well,
That's
Robin Williams
right.
does, yeah. Even has the girl from Matilda, and I think Jonathan Brandis is in that. Isn't he the middle kid? I can't remember. Anyway, it's not the point. The point is that we now play this.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
This is where you guys tell me out of 10. What do you guys think of this movie? Hey, Andrew.
Well, I don't think that it was as bad as some of the things we've watched, but it wasn't great by any means. So it's going to slide in somewhere above Poltergeist. No, this is, I would watch it again just for fun later, 10 years down the road. I'm not going to watch it again tomorrow. So I'm going to give it maybe a 3.5 stars.
Okay.
That disappear when the ship blows up.
All right. You can really tell we've been doing like good, bad movies. Kind of rotating. Like just looking at the scores, we go like we go 7.4, 9, 3, 7.3, 3, 8.3. So,
well, I mean,
yeah. All right. And Sam.
All right, I'm there with Andrew, but I don't think I'd watch this again. I think once is enough for me. So I'm going to give it a good 3.24 out of 10.
All right. So in the same, so I'm cheating a little bit because I can see what we gave the score for Runaway, and I'm trying to think.
A runaway.
I'm trying to think. Would I rather watch this or Runaway?
I'd probably,
like that's where I am emotionally and spiritually right now. It's like, would I rather watch Runaway and bad Gene Simmons or this and bad whatever? Because they both suck. So I think I would rather watch Runaway. So with that being said, I'm going to skew the score to a 2.5. Yep, that's good enough. 2.54. That drops it to like 1/100th of a point underneath Runaway. So,
awesome.
Yeah, I know I cheated. I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to do that, but whatever. I mean, this ranks under movies like Gamer and The Lightest Darkness that we've done recently. And
really? Under The Lightest Darkness?
Yeah.
I would have seen. Yeah. See, why did I rank that so high?
Well, remember, there was a lot about that we liked about that movie. We liked that, it was obviously, super low budget and, homemade basically. It was, a film festival kind of movie. So
the spirit of it was good.
Yeah, we gave a lot of concessions for that type of thing, knowing what it was going into it, knowing that this was not a studio, that this was, a handful of people, directed and written by this one person kind of a thing. So we did, we were pretty good on it. I mean, it averaged a 4.11 on that, and frankly, and I was the only one that gave it. I gave it a 5 because for those other reasons. So it's been a while since we've had a real bad film, except obviously the other day. Birdemic he's got a 0.06. I think that's like the last real bad film we've watched. And then before that, we have to go back to Kill Command to get a 1.57. So I you know what? I think we're actually doing pretty good. It's been a while since we've watched a real just shit film,
Yeah, okay.
I think we were actually doing pretty good. I mean, seriously, we've done pretty good. As much as we all didn't like Buckaroo Banzai, it wasn't the worst thing. So Anyway, that's our show. I'm excited to tell you, though, that next week, that actually by the time you hear this, it will be October. And,
bum, bum, bum.
And October means Halloween movies. That's right. Normally, we would put a bunch of them up on our website and have you vote on them. Well, we don't have a website right now. And
Facebook won't let us do a poll bigger than...
like 3 or 4.
And 2, I think it was, wasn't it?
I don't know. Anyway, the point is that we basically just kind of sat down and just... one of you sent in a suggestion for The Shining, so we will watch all 6.5 hours of The Shining.
Well, and we always try to do a classic, something that's supposed to be a...
Yeah, we did not the Omen. We did not the Prophecy.
We did Jaws.
What was that movie? Not the Poltergeist. Oh my gosh, The Exorcist.
Exorcist. Yeah,
we've done The Exorcist, Children of the Corn. I don't think we did that one for Halloween though. We just did that with the piss off.
That was just to poor and corny.
Yeah,
just to
seriously, that was literally just to piss off corny. Because Chad put it on the list. Let's just call it what it is.
Because we knew it would drive him crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And
sorry, corny. I know you won't listen,
but. So next week we are doing something called Mother with an exclamation point, and I think it's the Jennifer Lawrence thing.
And it's supposed to be horrible.
I heard. I know very little about it. 2017 movie, but it's got Jennifer Lawrence, and the poster is really kind of creepy. But it's a Darren Aronofsky movie. He's done weird things like Requiem for a Dream and Pi. And Requiem for a Dream gave me nightmares.
Also, former boyfriend of Jennifer.
Really? Oh, that's weird. So anyway, he did Noah. No, he did the Noah movie that we watched that we didn't like. He did. He did do that movie. So this will be our second movie of his that we've done. Because I don't see us doing Black Swan, The Wrestler, or The Fountain for this podcast.
I didn't know he did The Wrestler. That was it Mickey Rourke?
Mm-hmm.
Or no, who was it in The Wrestler?
Yeah, Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, look at me.
Yeah, look at you. And here's the funny thing. I remember Ricky...
One out of about 300. So.
Yeah, you're bound to get one right every now and then. Blind nut and all that stuff. Or blind squirrel, not a blind nut. A blind squirrel. What was I going to say? I don't remember. Well, whatever.
Sorry.
It's fine. I can't remember what I was going to say at all. Oh, The Wrestler. No, my point. I remember him, Mickey Rourke, talking about, because when he did Iron Man 2, I remember him saying it was nice to actually work on a movie that was like a legitimate film, because for The Wrestler it was such a low budget thing, like he complained about it the whole time because it was such a super low budget movie. It was a budget of $6 million, and then he goes in Iron Man 2 and he's like, "Oh yes, I actually get to have craft services in my own trailer," and anyway, so. It's always nice when millionaires complain about their job being hard. Anyway.
And that always bothers me when actors do that, especially.
Yeah,
Let me tell you what a hard job is. There,
yeah. I get that your job is hard, actors. There are sometimes it's physically hard. I get it, and sometimes fairly dangerous. And like Tom Cruise does some dangerous things, and we all know that there have been deaths on film sets, mostly crew, obviously Brandon. Yeah.
Jackie
Lee.
Chan in the
well, no, he's not dead.
Crow.
He's alive. No, Brandon Lee in The Crow, not Jackie Chan.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, anyway. But yeah, don't complain about your job. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, Mother is what we're doing next week. 2017. Again, I have no memory of this movie at all. I don't know anything about it. It came out almost a year ago today. Like we're 13 days off or 15 days off or something like that from when it appeared. And it's already streaming, so that should tell you all you need to know about Mother.
Mother.
And did win some awards.
Won a bunch of Razzies, I'm sure.
I'm looking to see if it did win any Razzies. Oh, yeah. It was Razzie nominated for Worst Director, Worst Actress, and Worst Supporting Actor, Javier Bardem. Which is funny because he was nominated for Dead Men Tell No Tales, not for this movie. That's weird. But that's so weird because, like, okay, you're nominated for Razzie, but then it's nominated as a Saturn Award for Best Horror Film. And Saturn Awards are, I mean, they're not the Oscars, but I mean, they're kind of prestigious, I guess. I mean, usually you see a lot of Serenity and Star Trek and those types of things are on Saturn stuff. So anyway, whatever.
We'll do it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah. So there we go. That's what we're doing next week. The rest of the list, in case you're curious, I will go ahead and tell you now. After Mother, we're doing Doom, the video game horror zombie thingy. And then after that, we're doing something called Witch. Sam found this article that said Witch is the best horror film streaming on Netflix that no one's heard about. And so we're going to do The Witch, and then a listener requested that we do The Shining. So we're going to do The Shining as our final for the month.
Yep. And then of course, listeners, this is all of if these movies are still streaming.
Well, Witch is a Netflix, I think, original. So it's not going anywhere.
But like Shining and all that mess. It should be there, but it's our luck.
Yeah, it's always subject to change. And that's why we had to do The Exorcist like before October, because they always pull it when it gets to October. So anyway,
you want to watch scary movies.
I know.
Not Halloween, certainly.
Well, but it's probably because the studio that owns it cranks up the. It probably cranks up their. Was that Siri?
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that's the show. Thanks for listening. We had a lot of fun with this. At least I did. It was a dumb movie, but I had fun watching it, and as always, I enjoy doing this part of the show. And that is
closing it down?
No, the actual show is what I meant to say.
Oh, yeah.
I actually like doing the show. That we do. Anyway, boy, I'm flailing here. Go to facebook.com/Cheapseat Reviews is how you can follow us there. At CheapseatCast is our Twitter account. You may, of course, send us emails to cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. We do. I mean, it does work. You should send them. And again, Twitter, I mean, most of you are contacting us through Twitter, which is fine. I don't care. So send me messages through Twitter or on Facebook if you want us to do a movie, especially for Halloween. If you hear this and go, ooh, I think they should really do the Zombievers 2 for Halloween, send us a message and
or not.
I'll consider it. Maybe not. Anyway, that's it. That's our show. I'm so happy that I can go to bed now. I'm just teasing. And Anchor. Check out our Anchor app.
But are you really?
No, I'm tired. iTunes, Google Play, YouTube. Go there. Leave us reviews. It's how other people can find the show, which would be great. Just do that, please. You're sitting here on your phone. You're probably doing chores while you're listening to us. Just pull your phone out. You can do it from your phone. Just leave us a review on iTunes, even if it's just a star thingy. That'd be great. So anyway, on behalf of Andrew, Corny, Sam, this is Sean Thing. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week. Okay. Woo! That's the show.